everyone, this is Tammy Scott with BLAHC, BLAHC. Thank you guys for watching. Today, this is episode 6. Episode 6, we will be discussing a couple topics. A couple topics are CNA appreciation, the importance of appreciating your CNAs. Number 2, we will be discussing nursing schedules. And 3, the importance of budgeting when it comes to staffing wages. So thank you guys for watching this today. And this is going to be a very, very interesting episode, as you can see, of some things that we will be talking about. Like I said, the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of CNA appreciation. I think CNA appreciation is very, 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 very good to have, due to the fact that those individuals are our foundation of nursing homes. CNAs are the foundation of nursing homes. Every nursing home out there have great CNAs. If you don't have any great CNAs, then you have to basically look at the management team or look at what's going on around yourself. I would say being interim sometimes at nursing home, there always been some awesome awesome CNAs that's out there that will do anything, everything for their building. They'll work overtime. They'll do everything that you ask them to do. I'm talking about some great ones, some good ones. So I want to talk about the importance of CNA appreciation. Me, being an administrator, I always made sure I did something for the CNAs. It didn't matter what it was, what it is. There have been times when I became so creative when it comes to CNA appreciation. CNA appreciation, of course, they love money and bonuses and all the other good stuff. They do love stuff like that. But I think that also motivation is another big thing when it comes to appreciation. Just you motivating your CNAs on a daily basis, getting to know them, sitting down with them, asking them about their their day, getting to know them, asking them what their name is. If you do not know all your CNAs by their first name or even their name, instead of you knowing them about payroll or anything, if you cannot put their names with their faces, that is an issue. If you're a new nursing home administrator and you just got to the facility, of course it's going to take some time. But after a certain period of time, if you do not know your CNAs by their name, that is a huge issue. And also is a huge issue as well if your nurses don't know your name, don't know who you are, and never seen you. Plus, when it comes to the third shift, there have been times where I worked in an interim position and I stayed longer so I can get to know the third shift. There have been times when nurses and CNAs have came to me and said, "Tammy, Miss Tammy, do you know you was the first nursing home administrator that I have seen, that spoke to me, that talked to me and everything." And I think that's very, very crucial. Plus, when it comes to the pandemic and the tridemic, plus when it comes to staffing shortages and issues, even if you build that relationship with them, that's very, very great. That's very, very great, because that also helps your nursing schedule that you have, and knowing, and your DON knowing that if something happens, your DON will be able to get someone to come in, but at the same time, when you call, they will be able to answer. So I think that is a great thing. Like I said, motivation is very, very important. Motivating them every day is very, very important. Like hyping them up, coaching them, just like a basketball coach. Like, you see them working so hard, they could probably be doing all the showers, and you're like, I see you, you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. I love it. When you see them doing something good, always pat them on their back. Say thank you all the time. If you are seeing a CNA and there's always negative thoughts that's going through your head about the CNA, or every time you hear about the CNA, it's always something negative, it's your job as administrator to turn that around. And in order for you to turn that around, you have to get to know your CNAs. You have to get to know who they are, what the things they like, their favorite color and everything. Like, you don't have to get all the way in detail with their family. Sometimes you will, because you are the administrator, plus when things come up. But it's very, very important that they know that you appreciate them. Because every time they always hear you policies and resident rights, and our job is to make sure the residents are happy, which is true, but increase employee satisfaction increases job satisfaction. So that's what I learned when I was in school. So you want to be able to do that. So please, please, please do things that, you know, CNA appreciation. Don't be waiting to CNA week to then appreciate them. No, do stuff often. Like there were times where I made shirts for my CNA. I actually handmade the shirts myself, like, because I know how to make shirts. So I probably put the facility name on it and put CNA on it. And there have been times I got CNA pens. And you know, CNAs are very happy because they already see the nurses have their pens, they RN pens, and they want to know, can they get a pen? So I made sure I get CNA pens. I make sure they get the actually CNA pens with the actual pens. And, you know, they love stuff like this. And they love stuff when they say CNAs on their shirt. And for you to have them to understand, yes, you are a CNA, but please understand there is a big title. That is a nice title. Don't ever downplay yourself because someone say, oh, you're a CNA. No, being a CNA is very important. So you have to have them to understand being a CNA is as important as any other position that's there at the facility. So you having them to understand you are a CNA, that is good. Don't downplay them as a CNA. It's good, you know, that they are a CNA. So you probably want to keep on motivating them. So it's good to keep on motivating them. And a huge thing also for administrator to do when it comes to the CNAs is always say thank you. Please say thank you. It's okay to say thank you. There's nothing wrong with that. There have been times when I had to call CNAs and nurses to help me out. And before I even start off, I asked them, can you please help me? I need some help. They said, what's going on, Miss Sammy? I need help with moving this resident to this room or moving that resident to this room. Can you come help me? I'm gonna do it too. So I'm not just asking them to do it and not helping. Or sometimes I probably do have a meeting and I probably tell them, look, I need some help. I need this resident move over here to this right here because I have a meeting that I need to go to and I really need this done. Can you guys please get this done for me? And they say sure. And I was like, thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. So, excuse me. So it's very, very important that you say thank you. It's okay as administrator to say thank you when it comes to the CNAs. They appreciate that a lot. So thank you come a very, very long way. Plus asking them for help. It's okay for you to go to a CNA and say, hey, how you doing? I need your help today. So it's okay. They love stuff like that. And they appreciate you for doing that because you are letting them know that you need their help. And you also saying thank you. And you also motivating them. So it's very, very good that you do that. I also do this. Plus, you know, I have CNAs, you know, they have different color hair. I know some facilities like, no, they don't do different color hair. Me, I really don't care for stuff like that. There's other important things that I need to worry about than the CNA color of their hair. So I tell them, oh, I love your hair. Your hair is so beautiful. I love that. Who did your hair and all this other good stuff. So it's good to say stuff like that. You build up the morale and you make them feel very, very good. Another thing I want to talk about is budgeting. When it comes to budgeting is very, very important when it comes to being a nursing home administrator. Of course, it's operation, so it's business. So you have to learn how to budget. There are a couple of things that you need to know when it comes to your financial statements. When it comes to budgeting, you have to work on, I'm very superb on it because I love my accounting skills. They are so A1. But your main things that you will have to budget when it comes to as a nursing home administrator, if your staffing wages is one, and also the inventory when it comes to nursing supplies, and also food. Plus when waste. It's very, very important to get those things right there down, packed when it comes to budgeting. So budgeting, when you're talking about staff wages, that is very, very important for you to actually budget. Plus, when you have the bonuses kick in, overtime kick in, you need to be able to budget that, because sometimes a nursing schedule or DON or ADON, they probably call a certain nurse to come in, and they get to the point they get so used to a certain nurse that they'll work all the time, and they'll just call their CNA and not call other CNAs to come in because they so comfortable with certain CNAs that they will be able to call them. And sometimes other CNAs and nurses be wanting to do overtime and no one calls them. So it's very, very important that you budget this, because if that certain CNA have so many overtime hours, of course other CNAs will feel some type of way because they be wanting those hours as well. And also your payroll will be very, very high if you don't catch things like that when it comes to budgeting. So when you are talking about the actually nursing schedules, when it comes to payroll, what some things I noticed when I go into facilities that a lot of people don't pay attention to is, see, the unit managers and the ADON, they do the schedules, or the scheduler, they so used to doing the schedule because that's their mind. That's what they focus on the schedule. As a administrator, you are over the business. So you have to, there have been times where I have to sit down with the scheduler because they always come to me and say, Miss Tammy, we need more CNAs, we need more nurses. Let me see what you have on a roster. Let me count all the CNAs you have. Let me count all the nurses you have. Then once I count them, I end up realizing that they already have all the CNA nurses that they need. It's just sometimes the schedule is not done like it needs to be. And it's hard because certain people get used to their schedule and they don't want their schedule to be changed. And it's so easy for you to just ask for a CNA and a nurse. Sometimes it's just easy for you to sit down and do a meeting so you can be able to talk to all your CNAs and nurses to let them know exactly what's going on. So the first thing you have to do is get with your scheduler to see if your scheduler is creating the schedule based on payroll. There have been a lot of errors in a lot of facilities that I go in where the scheduler is making the schedule because she's nursing, but it doesn't go with the payroll. Like they'll probably start the week off like a Monday or a Sunday, but what if the payroll week starts on a Wednesday? You completely off. Plus, if you talking about you have a person on 4-2 schedule, a 3-2 schedule, and a lot of people say, I'm working too many hours, or this right here, why my check here, or why the hours are here, more hours than this week. Because your payroll week is not lining up with the nursing schedule. So your CNAs in your nursing schedules needs to line up with payroll. So that day that it starts, that's the day of the payroll weekday. That's the day that your schedule starts from your nursing hours. So please make sure that you catch those things. A lot of nursing homes, like I said, have that issue. Plus when it comes to budgeting. So when I look at their schedule, my payroll or anything, I notice that, wow, I lost a lot of money here coming out, but this week is short and it goes weird this week. Then I realize when sitting down with the scheduler what's exactly going on, because I always know exactly what's happening when I go look at my financial statements. So it's very, very important for you to be able to catch those things. So the quicker you catch it, the quicker you could be able to come up with a solution when it comes to the DON and the scheduler, to have them to understand, okay, do you need to, because sometimes a lot of nurses or scheduler probably do like the, this is the A scheduler, or the A block, this is B block. Like I said, it's kind of difficult. So you probably have to get with the scheduler and say, come on, we have to come up with a solution, because you have the staff that you need you probably have to do probably 8-hour or 12-hour shifts on certain days, or probably plus when it comes to the weekend. If it's hard for you to get a three, because it's 8 hours, it probably be hard to get certain CNAs or nurses to do 8-hour shifts. You probably have to do 12-hour shifts, and they okay with doing 12-hour shifts instead of doing the whole 16-hour shifts where they doing overtime. So it can work like that, but sometimes you have to just communicate with your schedule and ask them, is it a great idea? So just don't go in, just change it off top. When you notice that it is an error, first get them back onto the payroll week. Then once you get them back on a payroll week and they fix the schedule based on the payroll week, then they can kind of maneuver. Then they can see, okay, then you can see, okay, is that the issue first? Then if they say we need some more CNAs and nurses, and you know they have them, then you'll go in and say, okay, I think we now need to maneuver certain CNAs based on Hall, based on the PPD. PPD is very, very important. There's patient per day. A lot of individuals do not know how to calculate PPD. Plus, where I go, the nursing staff don't know how to. Some nursing staff don't know how to calculate PPD in the scheduler. So it's very, very important for you to be able to educate them on calculation of the PPD. That right there will help you budget a lot of things in your building. PPD just don't go for PPD when it comes to nursing schedule. You could also do PPD when it comes to the housekeeping and dietary. Plus when it comes to the raw food costs. So it's very, very important for you to be able to calculate these things and know these things. Sometimes as a new administrator, certain individuals already got certain things in place, and you just go by what they have in place, which is fine. But if it comes down to, there have been times when I went in nursing homes, they were troubling buildings, and so pay became an issue with wages and payroll. So when it comes to stuff like that, it's very, very important as an administrator that you learn how to budget and you bring things to forefront. And you also have to basically analyze all your staff when it comes to their pay wages. There have been times where I went in and certain nurses, they title change. And when they title change, it could be a promotion or demotion. Sometimes there have been times where nurses have been, they demoted themselves due to them going to school, or they just want to go to PRN or anything, or part-time or something like that. So it's your job to make sure their wages match their new title. And also it's very, very important for you to also look at the PTO. Yeah, you have a business office manager, but you want to make sure your business office manager have everyone PTO that's very, very in place. I don't know how many times have I went over payroll when it comes to the PTO, when someone went full-time, then they went part-time, then they went PRN. So it's very, very important for you to have them to understand when they decide to change the classification, how do their PTO fix it. So it's very, very important that you tell them that. So not only do you have to look at, like I said, the staffing wages. Staffing wages is also another issue. Plus, when you have a lot of agency, it's important to do a wage analysis. I like to do wage analysis so I can compare what's around, what other assisted livings and nursing homes are paying their CNAs and nurses, so I can be ahead of the game. So this is how you beat agency. You beat agency by understanding the wage analysis, understanding what are your competitors, how do you compete. And sometimes it can be hard to try to, get your RDO on board to try to want to do a wage analysis. Sometimes it's important for you to start the wage analysis immediately. It needs to happen. It needs to be done. So go ahead and do it. Just don't go to your RDO and say, we probably need to increase on their wages. Because the RDO going like, oh my God, I don't want to hear this. not today. I got so much, too many buildings I have to work through and so much stuff I have to go through. Your RDO first response is, I'm sorry, we cannot do that. So it's very important for you to do the work. You have to do the work as the nursing home administrator before you go into your RDO and tell them this. So you have to go to them and tell them, look, I did a wage analysis on the assisted livings in the hospitals, in the other nursing homes that we that surround us. And I also did a wage analysis when it comes to dietary aides and housekeeping, when it comes to other food chains that's out there, fast food restaurants. What are we competing with? Because you have to understand some stuff like that as well when you're trying to get staffing. So plus when they say where's the staffing, where's hard getting staffing, what is the issue? So it's very, very important to do a wage analysis. So please look into things of that nature and make sure you do the work and start it before you go to your RDO and telling your RDO that you need increase of wages and you haven't did the work. Please do the work first and let them know exactly what do you have. And when you have the information, just don't have it on a piece of paper and say, look, I know the hospital paying this and that. I know the hospital paying this and that. I know the hospital paying this and that. You need to come with graphs. You need to come with charts. You need to have it on a piece of paper for them to be able to understand. You have to be able to and send it to them as an email, because you have to understand RDOs are so very, very busy. They have so much stuff they need to do. So it's very, very important for you to send it as an email as a wage analysis to let them know that how you can be able to compete when it comes to the staffing shortages. So that's very, very important. Another thing when it comes to budgeting is inventory. Nursing supplies is it takes up a lot of your budgeting. So you probably want to look at your nursing supplies. There's been so many times where I went into nursing facilities where certain individuals would send me things from DSSI for me to prove this, prove that, prove this. I said, wait a second, let me go see how much we already have in there. There have been some times when I went to a nursing home and they got so much supplies that they had a whole storage of supplies and no one wants to go in the storage. No one even knew that we have it because they never took the stuff out of the box, even organized it to see that we already have it. There have been some times where so many people order so much tube feeding. I was like, oh my God, why we have so much? That stuff expired. There is a lot of money. There is a lot of money. Plus when it comes to all of this and all of that, then next thing you know, you need certain stuff. Like you need CPAPs, BiPAPs, and you need a lot of things, functional machines. You need all of these things. You got to make sure they somewhere around. Someone come out, oh, Miss Tammy, we need some oxygenators, or we need some O2s, we need some blood pressure cuffs, we need some thermometers. You'll be surprised in the nursing home administrator office, it's in there. You got to go and look for it. So make sure you look at stuff. Make sure you go to the medical records room and see if you got some things in there. Make sure you go into the DON office and see if she got some things. Make sure you go into the storage. Make sure you go to the maintenance. Make sure you look in your own office to see if you got some of these things. Because you'll be surprised that those things be around there. And you just keep spending, and you losing a lot of money. And you wondering, why is it drinking up so much? Because you are basically getting unnecessary stuff that you really don't really need. So please go look at stuff like that. You need to look at stuff like that before you go and purchase certain things. Just don't keep improving stuff on DSSI or all these things like that. Sometimes I had a central supply person. They just keep on ordering stuff. They like, well, the nursing DON said get this, and they'll put it in and they'll send it through and say, Miss Tammy, have you approved it? and I have to go look at it because the DON probably saying we need stuff like this, but it's up to the central supply person to go find this. And sometimes they don't go and find it, and they was like, Miss Tammy, can you go and prove this? I was like, wait a second, this is too much. Let me see exactly what's going on. Do you know how many times a person wanted to order some bedpans or order some urinals, and we had a whole storage closet that they didn't even know that we had with none but bedpans and urinals? And I went in there, I said, here they are right here. I said, we have a bunch. Oh, I didn't even go in this room, Miss Tammy. I didn't even know this room existed. All the time I've been here, I didn't know this room existed. So it's very important as a nursing home administrator, you walk through your building, you go through up, down, around, whatever closets you can find and see exactly what's in there. Sometimes it be in the nursing station or the nursing closet. So you have to know where your storage closets are, where all this stuff is located. So it's very important. And sometimes you go to these nursing homes, some of these rooms are not even labeled properly. It's important that you label these rooms properly so you can organize. I hate going to nursing homes and when it's not organized, because my thing is I have to keep it organized. There's just something that I have to do. So nursing supplies is very, very big. They take up a lot of your budget. And doing that, you have to make sure you have a strong central supply person, or sit down to a central supply person and have them to understand the protocol before they send some things in before you approve. Their job is to go look in all places to see if it's there. And you have to get up as an administrator, because they're going to say, yeah, it's there. We can't find it. No, we can't find it. I never seen it. So you're going to have to get up as an administrator and walk them halls and find out if it's in there. So it's very, very important when you go and do some stuff like that when it comes to budgeting. Another thing with budgeting, of course, you have food. Plus when waste. I noticed that some nursing homes I went into that they have a huge waste, or they have waste. That causes money. So when you have waste and a lot of residents are not eating the food that is prepared, there's a couple things you need to look at. You need to look at, is the food being prepared properly? Is the cooking the food that tastes good? That is something you have to look at, because you won't have good cooks at your facility. And also when it comes to the food waste, are they following the menu that's posted? Because sometimes they have to come off the menu. So it's very, very important. And if a lot of individuals, if they are going off this menu and your residents that's there are not eating, not even 30% of your residents not eating, it's time for you to sit down with the dietary manager and also your resident council to ask them, let's go over this menu so we can tweak this menu. The menu needs to be tweaked so you can be able to have residents that be able to eat food that they're of their liking, and also you won't have food waste. So that could be another issue that you have when it comes to food budgeting. Of course, you have maintenance issues in some buildings that take up a lot of budgeting when it comes to maintenance. There'll be something else that we talk about when we talk about stuff budgeting when it comes to the maintenance. But the basic thing with your maintenance is you want to make sure you have a great maintenance director to be able to get certain things done. They will be able to call some individuals to make sure they get a lot of things done. Sometimes it's hard because when certain maintenance directors leave before you come in the building, they take all the tools, or they take all the major stuff, paperwork, all this other stuff, and you have to get all this stuff organized as a nursing home administrator. I don't know how many times I had to organize a maintenance director office. Too many times because a lot of them take everything, plus a whole toolbox, everything. There have been times where I started with new owners of a facility. So when you talk about new owners of a whole facility, there's nothing there. So they gonna have to purchase these things to get certain things fixed. So like I said, maintenance, when you have a couple of things that need to be taken care of, maintenance also can be a huge thing when it comes to budgeting, because certain things can is very expensive. Plus, like P-tax and all those other things of that nature, those things are very, very expensive. So you probably want to look at some things of that nature, but we will go more in detail when it comes to maintenance, because you'll be surprised as a nursing home administrator that I went through a lot of stuff when it came to maintenance, and you'll be surprised that my maintenance directors are very, very surprised at how much stuff I know when it comes to the maintenance, because I've been administrator for so long. So, and plus my husband, he's a maintenance director, aviation maintenance director. And so he knows a lot when it comes to stuff like that. So I've been educated so many years when it comes to maintenance. So like I said, that is something that you want to look at when it comes to your budgeting. That's very, very crucial. So please take the time, look at your nursing schedule, look at your payrolls, look at the wages, making sure that everyone that's on your roster, your nursing roster, is working, because insurance, work insurance, and all this other stuff, all this stuff costs money. And if you have certain individuals that's, PRN, they're not working the hours that they're supposed to, you need to call them, ask them to come and work. And if they're not working, you need to take them off the schedule, because insurance wise, you are losing money when it comes to stuff like that. Plus when you're part-time or you're full-time. So you want to make sure that everyone that's on your roster that you have are active. You don't want any inactive members or employees on your roster. So please look at that when it comes to your budgeting. That's very, very important. The way you go by your budgeting, like I said, is through the PPD. So take the time. Calculate your PPD. Once you calculate your PPD, then you'll know where to go from there. Then you'll be able to go with how many employees that you will need based on your PPD. Then you will understand your nursing schedule. Then you will be able to understand your supplies and your raw food costs and all this other stuff. So PPD have to be a very, very big thing that you have to learn how to calculate. That's very, very important that you be able to know how to calculate PPD, which is very, very important. We will, next time we go over the equations when it comes to the PPD. I know some nursing home administrators, you took your test and your NAP and everything, and that stuff right there was on there. And sometimes administrators forget. Sometimes they study the NAP test, and they study so much when it comes to the state test and NAP test and everything. And once they start working certain things like that, they forget. So there's nothing wrong with forgetting, you just forgot, sometimes you need help, and it's okay if you need help. So I'm here to assist you in all type of ways, because this is what I do, and this is what I love to do, and I've been doing it for so many years. So like I said, we will discuss all of those things next episode. And matter of fact, I'm gonna write it down so I can make sure we get into the PPD, all there with the equations and everything for next episode, so you guys will have it. Please, like I said, make sure you guys share this, comment, like all that other good stuff. Please take the time to come and watch it and everything. I'm starting these podcasts from ground up. So of course it's not like you are, oh my god, you're gonna have a lot of views and all that stuff. I would love to have views, and I'll continue to increase on my views and everything, but this is very, very important that I put this out there. Like I said, this is therapeutic for me, and I love doing stuff like this. So I want to make sure that I'm able to give back to my community. It doesn't matter how I give back, and this is how I give back, is through knowledge. And also, I have BLAHC. So please go to www.BLAHC.org so you can be able to look at things of that nature. And if you want to join BLAHC, you could join BLAHC through www.BLAHC.org, or you can go to Black Leaders and Administrators in Healthcare on LinkedIn, and it's a private room group. You can request to join. We have individuals who will be able to look into that and get you started to get part of it. So, like I said, you could join BLAHC on LinkedIn. You could join BLAHC through www.BLAHC.org. So please join BLAHC. We would love to have you. So this is right here, like I said, this is the podcast of Black Leaders and Administrators in Healthcare. Thank you guys for watching me. I love it. I enjoy this. Thank you guys so much. Please go and watch, share, comment, like on all platforms. Black, BLAHC, Black period contact on IG. Go to Black or on Twitter. Go to YouTube. Just type in BLAHC and you will see all the videos that come up. LinkedIn, you can go see me. Like I said, I am Tammy Scott. LNHA MHSA on LinkedIn, and please follow me. You can also leave me a message, whatever you like. It doesn't matter. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you guys learn a lot from this episode. Thank you so much. Bye.